Welcome, Most Determined Soul, CJ Berry here to talk to you about Fighters Evolution or Fighting Jam, depending on which one you're playing. I'm trying to see if this was actually as bad as people were saying. A lot of people said this is the worst game that Capcom ever made, and I'm here to see today if that's true. So this is how we're rating this. We're going to go on intro. Intro's important. Character select screen, character viability, and character design. And each one of these things are going to be ways that we describe how good the game is or isn't. So yeah, that in a nutshell, let's go. Starting from the very top, we have the intro. Now, I'm going to have to say, they have a pretty solid intro there. You can see the direction that they're going in with the intro. I think the intro is pretty cool. It's solid. It's kind of like they were trying to make a fighting all-star, like someone said previously in the chat. It's clear that's what they tried to do, but I think it was a little misleading the way they did that. But I'm going to give the intro. I'm going to give it a 14. It's not like iconic or anything like that. But it was well thought out. It was well thought out. Character select screen, it wasn't trash, but the thing about the character select screen that I don't like is the music. No, absolutely not. That's the thing that really turned me off about the game. I was like, I don't want to play this no more. The music is a very integral part of any fighting game out there, and if you got a sucky sound for your character select screen, it's just like, no. It's not iconic. It's iconic in a bad way, right? Very similar to how initially when you're listening to Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I'm gonna take you for a ride. That was a great, BGM for the character select screen, and it's iconic. And initially, like, man, what is this? But it just was really, really catchy. This is not catchy at all. And then the character select screen is kind of blocked off based off the characters that were used for a particular game, and it's kind of smashed together. There's no really, there's a rhyme and reason for it, but I'm just not really feeling this one. I'm gonna have to give it a 10. Character viability, they do have a lot of different characters there. You have the Street Fighter 2 characters, you have Red Earth characters, you have a lot of characters from a lot of different places. However, this is the problem that I have with it. You pretty much have more than a third of the characters from Street Fighter. They're trying to tell you it's a different game. However, is it really a different game? Is it really? They have Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter Alpha, and then you have Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. That's all Street Fighter still. Just say this is a Street Fighter mash, all right? Then you have Red Earth, then you have Darkstalkers, then you have some of the other bonus bosses, but it's like, come on. Just make this a fighting all-stars and just bring all the characters that you possibly can think of into this Capcom game. One of the things that I think was missing was rival schools. Now, if they took out, like, maybe, just maybe, if they replaced Street Fighter 2 with rival schools, put Ryu down there with the Alpha series, because there's a couple characters that we kind of didn't want to have in there. And then same thing with the Third Strike guys. Maybe mix and match those Street Fighter 2 characters in those spaces, maybe. Sure, why not? But I'm a little disappointed that they didn't pull in other things. But overall, character viability, there are a lot of different characters to choose from. I'm gonna give it a 12. I'm gonna give it a 12. I think that's fair. I think that's very, very fair. Character design. I think the character design is extremely lazy in this game. It just kind of is what it is. I think the same thing for CVS 2. There's a bunch of recycled sprites in the game. That's just me. This one, it has a lot of recycled sprites. They didn't even pull from the Street Fighter 2 catalog. They said, hey, I'm going to pull from the Alpha series, and I'm just going to say it's Street Fighter 2. I think that's whack. I really don't like that. I'm going to give the character design section a 9. Game mechanics. we clearly see what they tried to do. They tried to do what they did in Street Fighter Alpha 3, where you had the X system, the V-ism, and then the A-ism, right? And that's it. No, I said the wrong thing. X-ism, V-ism, A-ism. That's what I meant to say there. They tried to do that and separate them, but they pigeonholed the characters, right? I don't think I really like that. I really don't. And then for this to be a tag game, it's not really a tag game, right? I think even with King of Fighters, they did a better job with, hey, once your character is dead, you can't use them no more. You can just keep on using the same character over and over again. Having two characters is a formality in this game. I kind of don't like this. I really don't like that point. And there's nothing really that special. If you are good at Third Strike, you can keep a Third Strike character. If you're good at Red Earth, you can keep your Red Earth character. I kind of don't like that. I really don't. But do I understand the mechanics that are there? Yep. It's nothing to write home to. Nothing to write home to at all. But I'm gonna have to give it a lower rating because of that. I'm gonna give that a 21. Game design. Now we're talking about the backgrounds, we're talking about the to be continued stuff, we talk about a lot of those different things within those spaces there. It feels rushed. It feels like they were just slapping a couple things together and hoping that it would work. If you look at the backgrounds that are there, you'll see that it's drawn and it's very like grainy. I don't like that. And then the character sprites that are in the background of the different characters from different games, it just doesn't look good. It doesn't mesh well. Now, if they took those character sprites out and just left the backgrounds there, I think it would have been fine. But it's the fact that they try to put that in there to remind you, hey, look, this character belongs with this game. Oh, don't forget, we have Sagat here. He was part of Street Fighter. I kind of don't like that. I really don't like that. That game design felt really lazy and rushed. I'm gonna have to get that one probably. I'm gonna give that a 9. Another 9. Custom character customizations and options. There's none. There's just pilot swaps. That's an automatic 5. The music they took from different places. They tried, but they didn't try hard enough. That's another one. I think this is another one that's a 9. That's like 9s across the board. You might as well call this Fighter Evolution 9 because there's so many 9s coming across here. I didn't really like the music that much. It wasn't well thought out. It didn't sit in my spirit and made me want to listen to it over and over again. Outro and game endings, they did have that. I'm gonna give them that. They were decent. They had this comic book style. It didn't really tell a full story or anything like that. Let's go with this one. Let's give them 11. I think that's an 11. Replay value. I think this is one of the things that I will argue about this game. I do not think this game was meant to be played competitively. I think this was a placeholder to let people know, hey, we still make fighting games. That's literally it. I think this is definitely a game that you just sit down, take it for what it is, and then just play it over and over by yourself and see if you can get a better score. We don't do that with fighting games anymore. We don't do the single player mode and see how well we can do by ourselves in single player mode. We always want to compete. And for it to be something like that, I think I would play it over and over and have some replay value. I think a total of 3 to 4 times, and that's it. I'm done, you know? But outside of that, I don't think I would do it that much more. I think this is definitely a good game to sit down with your friends and have a beer with. And if you drink beer, you know, some people drink beer, some people drink Kool-Aid. This is definitely a couch fighter for sure. So there's a little bit of replay value there. I'm gonna give that one a 13. I think that's fair. Overall look and feel. It's not that great. It's not that great. A lot of it feels rushed. It feels lazy. It feels like they were trying to compete with Mugen. Someone mentioned in the chat earlier that during this time, Mugen was very popular. And they say, hey, I can make a Mugen game. And they just completely missed the point of what Mugen was. So I can't give it a high score for the overall look and feel, especially knowing what the intent of this game was. I think maybe a 21 for that one. I'm not going to go super low and get it in the teens, but it's 21 I think is fair. Now for the bonus scores. Additional gameplays and modes? No. 0. Big fat goose egg. Was there a story? No. Big fat goose egg. Online gameplay? I believe this was before Street Fighter 4, and typically that's how I rate these games. This game was done before Street Fighter 4, if I'm not mistaken. That's kind of when we made that shift into online gameplay. So I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt and say boom, a 10, because this game was not meant to be played online like that. And again, it's a couch fighter. You're supposed to play this in person. 10, easy 10. Was it good for its time? Oh, absolutely not. I think even during that time when it released on the Xbox, it wasn't it. It definitely wasn't it. But it did get some bonus points right there. It got a total of 10 points in the extra credit category section, and I think that's fine. So let's see what grade it got. I bet you it got a D. Let's see. Yep, solid D. I don't think this is a failing game. I think this is very fair. This is not a failing game. D is passing. D's don't get degrees, but D is passing, you know. In high school, you're going to be able to graduate from high school if you have a D. It just kind of is what it is. But guys, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if it deserves to be an F. Let me know if you think it should have got a higher score. Let me know in the comments below what you believe the score on this game should have been, and I most likely will comment or respond to you at my earliest convenience. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Success and victory, guys. Don't block with your face, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace out.